Yo, think we're live
Yo,
now,
yo,
man.
yo. Say that again.
Think we're live now.
Okay. There we are. Another
We should
Friday.
be.
Well,
Man, I feel like every time we do this, I feel like a noob. I think I say that at the beginning of every stream, but like, is it live? Can like, can I get some validation? Let's see. Oh yeah, there you go. I can see some comments coming in.
good. Nice.
Cool, man. So third live stream. We're a bit late this month, partly because I was on holiday last week
Yeah, you had
and
some
I
good
was
time
in
off.
Algarve enjoying the sun. And so we pushed it a week, but here we are. It's an exciting one. It's a stream where obviously, as you can see, Thomas is joining me again, and we got some updates to talk to you guys about the new Raycast. So we're gonna touch on that. But before we do that, and while people are kind of joining in, I kind of wanted to start with going over some highlights that I have collected.
Okay, curious.
I spent a bit of time just going through some tweets of things that have happened in the last month, basically. So let me share my screen quickly. All right. All right. So the first one that just happened a few minutes ago, I think. We also just shared this internally, but I find it insane that we just crossed 90,000 followers on Twitter, man.
It's
Like,
pretty wild. I remember when we crossed 1K, like almost when you cross sort of those big numbers, right? When there's a new digit, it's like 1K. 10K felt kind of insane already. And then I think 50 was another milestone. But yeah, we're getting close to the 6 digits. Crazy.
yeah, I think 90 is an interesting one. Like, it's so close to 100, right? Like, when we crossed
Yeah.
80, I was like, oh, that's cool, man. That's a lot. But 90 is
Yeah.
like, man, I didn't really think that we would get to so many followers, you know? I think that
Yeah.
all the time. Even like on our YouTube channel, I think we've got like 45,000 subscribers now.
Yeah.
And I think
Which is
that's
even
very
faster growing, right? I think we look at it, usually we do it like end of the year always when we kind of look back. And then YouTube was nuts last year, which was crazy.
yeah. Oh yeah, because we do the recap thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of just wanted to start with some vanity metrics, because why not? But also, since this is live and we've got so many people from the community here, just to say thank you to everyone who is following us, subscribing, staying close to our content and giving us feedback and sharing your excitement about Raycast and everything else that we do. I think personally, that's kind of super motivating for me. I think you probably would agree, no, Thomas?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like it's the best. Every big and small tweet that you see pop up where Raycast appears, or where people ask what I should install on a new MacBook, and then I usually like to open those tweets because it's full of Raycast. So yeah, it's super
Yeah.
validating.
That one happens all the time. The one with
Yes.
like, let me change the layout slightly here, see if it gets a bit better. Let's do this one. Exploring with the layouts. That's good, that one, no?
I
So you
like
can
that
see
one.
you can see our reactions as well. But yeah, man, the ones with like I almost feel like that's a bit of a meme now when people say like you just got a new MacBook. Like there's people that get a new MacBook every 6 months or something.
Like there are also people who like say like, oh, I have a new MacBook. What should I install? I already have Raycast installed,
Yeah.
which is also fun to see.
Which is a good segue to the next tweet I had here, which this one made me laugh, man. Like when I saw this one, it was like, it's a good question. You know, like
Yeah.
I think it's it's something that oftentimes when people get a new MacBook and they post this tweet like, "Oh, I just got a new MacBook. What should I install?" So many people are recommending Raycast all of the time, and people are always like, "Man, what the fuck is Raycast?" and this one made me laugh. I was like, I've been following her
Yeah.
for a while with all the AI creative direction. I think I saw her on Dive Club podcast because we sponsor Read, of course,
Yep.
and so yeah, Jamie, if you're here, you're probably not, but I think you signed up to be in one of our upcoming events in San Francisco. Um, then I'm curious to know what you think if you've had a chance to try it. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, this one. So that was cool, man. I thought when I came across this one with Cassidy talking about Raycast, obviously, like, she's super well known in the tech space, especially in the more web dev, uh, bubble. I've been following her for years now. I actually miss her memes, man. She had some of the best meme game in the space.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to see that she was doing a video about GitHub Copilot and Raycast. I thought that was really cool. Caught me by surprise.
Yeah, me too. Like, it's always fun seeing this pop up. We had another thing going a bit off script with GitHub this once, which was fun in its own way. Which, for the ones who didn't know, yeah, like it appeared that Raycast was mentioned. As you can see here, like from Cassidy is like they're just like Raycast, and there was just this unfortunate thing I think where they added like some tips to some pull requests, and I think I checked during the week there was like 11,000 mentions of Raycast in public pull requests on GitHub now.
11,000. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and these are just the public ones. Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate, but I think they navigated it quite well, and yeah, it was funny to see or
Yeah.
like to wake up to something like this where we had no no influence whatsoever and sort of got blamed for some ads and stuff.
Yeah, I think it was handled well from their part as well. Like
Yeah,
these things happen. People got a bit frustrated because it felt a bit like an ad and stuff. I mean, we didn't even know about it, but
no,
anyway, that's done now. That's in the past.
exactly.
What else? Oh yeah, so that's cool. We've got a Raycast theme in the Codex app. That's very nice to see. Normally it's us adding their themes to Ray.so, so it's nice to see that we're someone else's theme as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it was cool. Dom also like long-time Raycast user collaborated with Samuel, our design engineer, on that one on the side and made that happen. So pretty happy getting that one in, which is also now the theme that I use in Codex. So it's quite
Yeah, of
nice to
course. I wouldn't
feel
expect any
all
less.
cohesive.
Yeah, so that's cool. I set that theme as well, even though I'm not using
Nice.
Codex too much.
Well, I now need to use it because my cursor spend was too high. So
Oh
I need to
yeah.
switch
Well, you
to
got a nice
Codex.
little credit for that, no?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But like, yeah, I'm bouncing between all of them. Weirdly, I'm like trying
Yeah.
out. I feel like you got to stay on top of everything. I'm
Yeah,
still
that's
like
the way.
mostly in cursor, I think, but switching around. I feel
That's
like
cool.
I change all the time. Would be
But are you in
curious what people
Cursor
use.
using Cursor Glass, or are you still like in the sort of like chat sidebar chat?
Yeah, I'm the class guy,
Oh,
so
nice.
basically trying that out. I just like to bounce between the different models. I mean, they're changing so heavily. And then, but I also like trying out Codex, Cloud Code on the go. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm all over the place, but I'm very curious to hear what others do as well. Because I feel like everybody uses everything nowadays.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, feel free to answer in the replies. We'll take a look in a minute, see what other people are using. Then there's another one that got me really excited, and I think a lot of people share this excitement, which is my mind is finally working on the API. And that's something that's being so heavily requested, man, by ourselves and by people in the community who use my mind and always wanted a Raycast extension. There is like an unofficial one at the moment, which kind of reverse engineered some of the stuff and made it work. But it's nice to see that they're working on an API, an official one. And I already started chatting with Van Schneider and the
oh yeah,
original
to
author
be
of the extension, whose name I don't remember right now. I think it's here. Let's see. Yeah. Arian, that's the
Oh
one.
yes.
Exactly. So yeah, I think once it's out, we're gonna jump on this. I'll message Arian. Arian, don't know if you're in the chat, but if you are, legend. And we will finally upgrade the extension. I'm really excited about this, man. That's a big step for them.
Yeah, I think it's a nice side effect from all AI stuff where suddenly companies opening up more because they want to integrate with everything, which is great for us, given we like building so much on top of extensions. So pretty cool to see my mind finally making up their mind.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah. Pun intended.
Of course.
There you go. Look, even the comments, man. I love my mind. My mind is great. Probably the best branding out there. I've said this numerous times.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, Toby is a legend.
Um, all right. So the reason I put this one up here is because showing your folders and your files in Raycast root search has been probably one of the most requested things in the history of Raycast, especially I would say even more so years ago when more people were coming to Raycast from other launchers that kind of did that by default. I feel like now we have loads of people coming to Raycast from maybe not even using Spotlight, to be honest. So they're not kind of conditioned by this expectation. But that's something that is funny to see again when we're so close to releasing the new version of Raycast, which will finally address this. So I kind of even shared, well, I shared a workaround, which is what I've been doing for a long time, which is just creating a quick link. But soon you'll be able to search for folders or files or anything in your file system. So
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Finally reached that point. I think bit of backstory, we never really did it because we were never really happy with the performance of it. Like we felt like we never really got to where we felt this was good. I get the appeal to have like these things there because now now I have it in our new Raycast and I feel like, oh my god, so good.
Yeah.
Especially for those frequent things, let's say downloads folder, or I have like this my avatar, which I just have like the
Yes, that's exactly
close
what
up.
I use it for, man. That's funny.
See? Yeah, yeah. So those things that you need to use very often, it's just super handy. So yeah,
Yeah,
super
definitely.
happy we finally made that move.
All right, just a few more on the highlights. New emojis have been added. So that's cool. I haven't actually tested them yet because I haven't updated my OS, so I can't see them. But if you have, then check it out.
Um, yeah, I wouldn't even know which emojis are new. Still on.
There's one with the big eyes or something. Bruno said it, whatever it was called. He can maybe leave a comment like, what was it called? Oh, I forgot now. But I remember seeing it. Oh, have they been added? Actually, I'm just having second thoughts if they've actually been added now. Anyway, I'm gonna post. Do you know if they've actually been added or they're about to be
So
added?
they're all always OS dependent, right? So you need to be on the right OS
Yeah,
to
that's
have
true.
them and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll
So
double check. I'll double check this. Maybe I might be spreading some fake news here. Um, Turns out Raycast wins again. This one is funny because the calculator is such a powerful feature of Raycast. It's one of the things that people kind of love the most. Which, by the way, has now made it to iOS, and I've been using it on there as well. So it's really nice to have this same, um, calculation, but also conversion experience. And I saw this one, and I liked it. I've never seen anyone doing this specific one. I've seen so many crazy formulas here, but this one of like going from dollar to gallon to euro to liter, it's quite funny to see,
that
but it
is
works
quite an
pretty well.
advanced one. It's pretty cool. Yeah. On iOS, I enjoy it a lot because you have sometimes those weird like conversions, but also the team added widgets, which is really cool for dates. Like you can, for example, put in a date and then you see the countdown to your date, or you can put in um, like a conversion and then you see the conversion, which is kind of funny. So if you have any birthdays, holidays, stuff like that coming up, you can say days until blah blah blah, and then save it in the widget, and then you see it on in your home screen, which I think is
Nice.
pretty neat.
Nice. That's cool. That's cool. What do we have next? Talking about iOS slightly. Man, I know that we have some people in the team, they are really good with these kind of iOS shortcuts. Um, I don't really use them that much, and the times I tried, I kind of struggle to make it work. But I saw this one, I was like, man, that looks so cool. I'm gonna steal that one. So
So what does
basically,
it
what it's
do?
doing, it's like you take a photo, right? And then you send it to a Ask AI to basically to Raycast Ask AI command. It uses this preset that they have, Journal OCR. It automatically includes that photo
Mm.
in the chat, in the message, and then it will basically copy the answer to your clipboard, all like in one sequence of events. That's so powerful, man. Like I feel like if you know how to use shortcuts, you can do some crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I never got really into the shortcut game, but I'm also not a heavy mobile user, as you know. Like my phone is sometimes a brick, like that I carry
Yeah.
around with me. So I'm like the worst person for that. But I always admire when people get creative because I feel like this shortcut stuff is it's almost a bit like lightweight programming. When I look at this, like, oh wow, interesting what you can do with it. Seems to be super powerful.
Yeah,
Very cool.
and to be honest, like we have so many limitations on iOS of like how far we can take Raycast. So the teams, the iOS team who really understand like the platform really well, they try to make sure that a lot of the Raycast features can be used through the iOS sort of native ecosystem. So you can add things as widgets, you can customize like the action button, you can use shortcuts. There is a share sheet with some custom actions in there. So like really trying hard to try and like spread the things that Raycast can do through through iOS. But it does mean that you kind of have to manually go and set these things up. Um, you can actually share a shortcut, right? Like you can actually there is a way that
Oh
you
yeah.
can basically share that. So maybe we should also figure out a way that we can make them like we can surface them a bit easier so people can make them and we can even consider doing a raid.so because you know we got so many things on raid.so now for like
Oh yeah.
presets, quick links and stuff. Maybe we should try and have one for iOS shortcuts. That would be cool.
That would be cool, especially also some inspirational stuff, right? Sometimes you
Yeah,
see something like this and say, "Oh, actually, I could use this," and maybe tweak it
yeah,
with one,
for
two
sure.
things.
That's the reason we made these ones, just to give people inspiration to know how. Like a lot of people sometimes don't know how to use something, but the moment you give them some tips, then they have their own ideas. And so I think that's one of those examples. All right, man. Let's wrap. Oh, now it's Glaze. Let's leave Glaze for later. Actually,
Yeah.
let's move to our um, second section of this stream, which is a few weeks ago, we made a video, we put it on YouTube, that we were letting everybody know when the new version of Raycast is coming out. And so, as we've said, it was the end of April, which is quite soon. And already on the 1st of April, I'm getting messages on Twitter. I'm sure you are as well. I think they were tagging both of us. Hey, where is the new Raycast and stuff?
Yes.
And so then, I thought it was funny, man. Like people just remember the word April, you know. So anyway, we're getting very close to the end of April when we're going to start rolling out the new version of Raycast, and the whole team have been kind of really, really focused on this. Even Thomas, who's been like pushing commits like a madman. So anyway, let's talk about this. Why don't you basically give everybody an update about how this rollout is going to happen, how when people can expect to get their hands on it, what this new command, there's some people already found the new command, what is that command for, etc. So yeah, man.
Yeah. Let's do it. So yeah, like a few weeks ago, we chatted about that in the video that comes out. Actually, even earlier in December, we gave sort of a teaser of what it is, and since then, people are very eager to get a hands on it. The good news, in fact, some people already have their hands on it. So we gave it already to a bunch of our close users and ambassadors. So they have already access, and a few more getting access over the next couple of days. And so we basically said, like, hey, let's take this time to like really refine this app as much as possible, because we want to make sure that basically everything works as expected, because it's sort of the biggest design change we did, plus like a bunch of additional features that we want to make sure they work really well. And so the initial idea was like, okay, we're gonna get like this out in one go, and just like bang, there it is. But as we gave it like to a few more people, we like realized, okay, we want to do this a bit more gradually, because with so big changes, there are like a few things that we kind of fine tune and stabilize and make sure the quality bar is where we wanted to have it. And so we like said, okay, let's do this a bit more in stages and rolling it out. But I know everybody want to have their hands on it immediately, and I hear you. It's a great new app looking. Whenever I see both next to each other, it feels like night and day, and I can't wait to get it out. But we just said we like doing a bit more iteratively to really make sure we can nail the experience. So the 3 stages that we sort of have is like ambassadors, which we're going over right now. Then a bunch of our pro users gonna get access afterwards. And then also we want to make sure that basically other people can try it out. And so some people maybe have seen this on Reddit and a few other places where it popped up. We have in our Raycast version 1 essentially a command which is there where you can register. So you can open up Raycast right now and search for register, and you should find there like a command that you can use. And with that, you basically register for early access. So you will be amongst the very first to get your hands on it. And so what we're going to do right now is basically we sort of dropping in batches, getting a few people on, making sure everything works for them, moving on to the next ones, making sure everything works, moving on to the next ones. So this is going to be like the next couple of weeks going to look like that, where we're going to do this. So it stretches a bit out of April to like have really everybody on it. But rest assured, like this is basically our top priority, where everybody has their hands on it, and make sure that we can get over this as much or as quickly as possible. So that's like basically where we are right now. But I think we're also gonna tease a few things or go in a few more details. We showed already a few things, but we can look at a few things more, and also a bit, I think, behind the scenes how we got to the one or the other thing, because I think this is also sometimes quite interesting, not just the end result, but also the process, how we got there.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks for the update. So did you wanna share your screen and show some of
Yeah,
the
let's
stuff
do
you're
it.
thinking about?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, well, this I can close, but let me go in here. One of the things which I would actually, let me start here. Like one of the things that I personally like a lot is how we evolve Quick AI, which is essentially, well, there's a new version available, new stuff coming in by the minute.
Yeah, all the time.
But like for the ones who haven't used this before, like Quick AI is sort of like our way. You just type a question, you hit tap, and you get an answer. So usually the question that I always ask, like, who are the founders of Raycast, and maybe let's mix it up a bit. GitHub, and sort of press tab, and you see this looks very different now, where we put a lot of care into making this like really like a new revamped version of Quick AI, where we like on the top have like a nice animation for like a title that comes in, like the LLM that got used, and generally this is like basically like now a proper sort of chat interface where the composer is on the bottom, where you can add mention different AI extensions, and also have like a usual command palette that pops in. But we thought about this like interface for so long, and I can show in a second how that looks basically when we were on design, because this is how it looks at the moment, right? So I took the screenshot literally like an hour or so ago. So this looks very familiar to people, and then when you put sort of this next one to it, which is now the new look, it's quite sort of a change. And this is like sort of where I want to go with the process, because we're like, you don't go from just this to the final one, this one here. It like was sort of iterations. Um, and the coolest thing I think was that we wanted to change this for a while, but we weren't sure how. And so we went into this iteration where you see, for example, the layout sort of stays the same. We had here on the top where you can ask a question, and then here on the bottom, what we call the action bar. But that felt a bit weird because you type at the top and like the scrolling doesn't really work, which always bothered us here. And then when you make it a bit more complex, like we have now things like deep research, like this whole layout feels super heavy and weird. And then we felt like that doesn't really work. Because like again, like usually when you have this chat, this thing sits on the bottom. And so we kind of like threw that away. And then it's like, well, what is if we like move this composer to the bottom? And then I remember I was initially a bit like, I don't know, like usually you always type in the top of Raycast, right? It's where your search field is. And now it's on the bottom, which feels a bit weird. And it jumps down. But as we like sort of iterated over it, we kind of ended up like with this like pretty clean look, and like did a few like more iterations here with the title and everything to make this really pretty. And the coolest thing here is essentially like all of this stuff was done by a designer directly in code. Like basically we always played around with like in Figma, but you can't feel those things. So he built out all these different prototypes himself, I think on a Ray Day, on a Friday, to get a feel for it. And then once we like landed the one here on the bottom, like we shipped it internally, and then we tried it out and sort of overcame a lot of like this weirdnesses. Like here, for example, we first had like an action sitting here, and this was super weird because it's the middle of nowhere in the UI. And then we thought like, oh, can we maybe move this down into the composer? So now you see, for example, this paste response is down here, and it's like a lot of refinements that we did over the last couple of weeks, basically, to get to this point. But we were thinking about this thing for like months, and if not longer. And I think like this is sort of this new like coding and building, because we've seen this like in a few projects internally, where we had projects we wanted to do for a while, but we just never really had the appetite for it. But when you have sort of like a few coding agents, you can just spin out, hey, let's try out those 3 different options. And then there's something really nice when you can actually try them out in product and feel them, because that's what with Raycast is oftentimes the challenge, like making it feel right and fast and fluent. So yeah, I really enjoy where we landed on, for example, Quick AI. It just feels super natural now after having it used for like a couple of weeks by now. And how we got there was like a really interesting process, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I was the same when we were testing this internally. I was so confused with the input moving to the bottom, because like so much of it is about muscle memory, isn't it? With Raycast, it's one of the
Yeah.
few products that I think people open so many times a day. So let me quickly remove your screen here, so it's not like doing this infinite tunnel.
Yeah.
So it's like so much of it is about muscle memory. You know, you trigger it so many times a day, and when there's a small little change, you kind of notice it. It can throw you off sometimes, you know, in terms
Yeah.
of your expectation. And that's kind of one of the challenges with redoing it, you know, like the redesign and stuff. We need to be mindful of all of the people who rely on Raycast to basically use their computers and get stuff done. You know, people say all the time, man, like whenever I don't have Raycast, like I forget how to use my computer or something. It's true. Like I feel like that
Yeah.
all the time if I use a laptop that doesn't have it. Or even if it has a different one, because having a different one is better, but you know, if you don't have your hotkeys, man, I'm lost.
Oh yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah. Um so anyway, that the quick AI is good. I feel like since using it for a while, I'm also can't imagine using it how it was before. It's gotten really, really good now. And I think I use it way more than AI chat now because it's so transient, you know. Oftentimes you just kind of want something and
Yeah.
then move on.
Yeah, it's the same for me. Like, yeah, I love where we landed there.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Um,
just the beginning.
did you wanna talk a little bit about this sort of migration from Raycast to the new Raycast, or is that something that you're still sort of thinking about? What's on your mind?
Yeah, anything specific, or like
Don't know. We
just
have a
general?
note here in the agenda that maybe I think this was from Bruno, by the way, who's somewhere there in the back. But to let people know in terms of getting the new Raycast, because it's going to be released as kind of a beta sort of
Yes.
thing, right? So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
there's a bit of a migration process. So I think it
yeah,
might be nice just to let people know what to expect a little bit
yeah, for sure.
with that.
So basically, we now entering sort of this beta phase where people get the first access, and we call it beta because, as you just saw, we changed a bunch of stuff, and we want to make sure it works. And so the easiest or the best way to get access to it is opening your current Raycast and type in register, and then you get basically access to the beta. We rolling those out, those invites essentially over the next couple of weeks, because we want to make sure that you can nicely migrate over to the new version, which should like feel good to you. And so we basically do on a weekly basis, adding a bunch of more people in, and then more and more in, and then eventually we will basically opening it up for everybody to try it out. But for now, I think the people who are here are very eager to get their hands on it, so they should sign up and register to get the early access to it. And during the beta phase, we also have a special group in our community where all of us hanging out to like basically make sure we land really well. So we also then, when you get invited, ask you kindly to join that one where a lot of more enthusiasts are hanging out to make sure that we basically can make all the right choices here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, got some questions in the chat. I think maybe it's good to just like while we're talking about this to answer some. So the first one is, I registered. How do
Yeah.
I get the update? So maybe just because like this is not a wait list. We've got already like other wait lists happening. Like we didn't want to do another wait list. We're just trying to kind of roll it out in stages. So suddenly we don't have like so many people using a new thing.
Yes.
So maybe you can explain how are they gonna like once registering, how would they know that they can update?
Yeah, good point. So you would get an email. We basically like at the moment every Monday and Wednesday sort of ish, letting a batch in and then basically work with them together. Um, but we're doing it in stages, so don't expect everybody gets in right away. We basically want to do it gracefully, so we'll take a bit of time. We just thought like we starting actually earlier than end of April, getting people in, but want to do it like step by step. So look up in your email inbox, not today, for the weekend, but then we're starting. But it will take us a few weeks to just get over the sheer amount of people that have signed up for that. And then when we have also like a crucial amount of folks on the beta, then we probably feel confident enough to open it up to everybody.
Yeah. And just to do a quick recap, I can see there's a bunch of new people that have joined. So basically, there's a new command. If you make sure that your Raycast is up to date, you can just run check for updates. Make sure you logged in, and then you have access to this command, register to the new Raycast, basically. And so just tap on that, trigger that command, and that's it. You're going to be in. And so you'll definitely be getting access earlier. Not earlier than the end of April, but earlier than everybody else, just to clarify.
Yes.
Let me see if there are any more questions. If you guys have any questions in the chat, it's a good time to ask them before we move on to the next part of the live stream. Look, someone is suggesting a design change here, Thomas. I don't know if you can see your stream. I don't know if you're
Oh
using two
yes.
screens, but can you
Yeah.
see it?
Yeah. So love it, but please remove the logo from the root command palette, right?
We'll pass that on to the design team.
Yeah, I mean, can certainly pass it on. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, let's see what they think.
It
Speech.
feels,
Yeah, go on.
yeah. I think the logo, it doesn't get in the way. Why it is there, maybe like sort of explaining the reason behind it. So if the logo isn't there, your text starts much more on the left. And then if you go in a command, there is usually a back button, and then your cursor is on the right. So there is like sort of give or take 100 pixels, which moves around. And so that balances it out. So you basically always look at the same position where the carrot is. But yes.
Nice,
And
clean.
then
It's
also
always
it
a
helps
reason.
us to differentiate what is the internal build, which is blue, versus like what's the public one.
Someone asked me that today. They said, "Oh, how do I get this like shiny blue version?"
Yeah. It's a special one.
Um, Speech to text. I think that's something we have talked about. We have kind of already let people know that that's something that will be coming in the new version of Raycast. That's something that people have been asking for a while, and I kind of feel bad, man, because we've had this internally for a long time. We've just been in this weird position that we can't really release it, but
Yeah.
very very soon we will be releasing, and it's working really well. Like I'm using dictation in the new Raycast like way more than I ever thought I would.
Yeah,
We use it
same.
all the
Like,
time as well, no?
yeah, in especially in Slack and other stuff, I'm using it like
I
crazy.
can tell when you're using it because like sometimes it kind of changes the G's with the C's and stuff.
Yeah. Like, yeah, we're still fleshing out a few things, but like, yeah, sometimes it's like also too formatted in a way. So we're kind of still trying to find a balance of it, I think. But
Yeah.
it's like just so nice. I also use it a ton for emails and stuff, where it's just so quicker. Oh, and for prompting, I use it all the time. I basically just prompt an AI pretty much all the time with voice now.
Cool, man. All right. So let me quickly move on to the next part of the stream so it doesn't have to be too long, which is Glaze. As I guess most people know, we have released a new product about a month ago, I want to say, roughly, just
Yeah.
before the previous stream. Um, and it's been a very exciting month with onboarding people onto Glaze. We've invited a bunch of people already. um we started doing events. Like all of this happened like so last minute as well. We already hosted 3 different Glaze events. If anybody here watching has have come to any of these events, let us know in the chat. I'm gonna make sure I open the chat here to see. And so we done the first one in London. That was the biggest one. um
Oh
then we
yeah.
did one in Paris and in Berlin, and that was cool, man. I really enjoyed these events. Like,
Yeah. Same.
felt very different, because it wasn't really a hackathon. It But it also was not just like a meetup that people are just hanging and chatting. It was kind of a nice balance between the social aspect of the events, which I personally really enjoy, like getting to meet people and chat with them, take some photos, but also give people access in person to this new app. Everybody's so excited to try it out. And then everybody gets about what, an hour and a half to build something with Glaze. And unlike a hackathon where when you're building something, you kind of want to do the craziest possible thing because usually hackathons come with prizes and other types of incentives. But with this, is like just have fun, like just kind of try it out and play around with it. And so much about Glaze is this fun aspect that it just has a very low barrier to entry. So anybody there within a few minutes, they're already like trying to build an app or getting an app built for them.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really exciting, man. Like I really enjoyed doing the Paris one. How was it for you in London?
Oh, it was crazy because we also didn't really know what to expect, right? So suddenly we talk about different kind of product, something else that we launched, I think, a week before or so. So it was quite exciting, but no, it was like the energy was unreal. There were like so many different people. Everybody had cool ideas, from funny gimmicky things to stuff they wanted to have for like years and tried out. 20 different apps and none of them really cut it, and then they made it how exactly they wanted. And then also like from technical people that know how to code, to like people that like never written a line of code, and like it's like, yeah, it was super cool to see. And then also just see, yeah, the excitement and the demos that people have afterwards.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it
The
was super
demos
fun.
was cool because at first we're like, "Oh, should we not do
Yeah.
demos?" Because you got to plan, like, people have to, record their app and go up and present and stuff. We're like, "Oh, let's leave it out just to
Yeah.
keep it simple." And then last minute, I think it was the day before, right? Or maybe it was
Yes.
even on the same
I
day, I
think
don't
it
know.
was the same day. I think
Yeah, I think it was
Samuel
on the
was on
same
the
day.
airport and then he had
Yeah.
to leave to fly
We're
to
like,
London.
"Nah, man, let's do the demos." And I think that was you pushing for it, and,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
really glad that we did, because that was kind of the bit that just brought everybody together, like, like, there was some demos in Paris, man. There was this guy that built an app for his colorblind son, and it was an app that would replace some colors with different patterns, so he could,
Yeah.
like, understand, like,
That's
red is this
yeah,
pattern, green is this pattern and stuff. And, like, people loved it, like,
yeah,
everybody felt almost, like, emotionally attached to
yeah,
that app,
yeah.
to that presentation. So I thought the demos was good that we decided to do it in the end.
Yeah, this was crazy because we also had kids at the event. Like there was a mother, like she asked before if we would allow her son, I think he was 12 years old or so, to come. And we said, hey, yeah, sure. And then they came and he was like locked in for 2 hours and built, I think he built like multiple apps actually.
Wow,
He had multiple ones, which was crazy. And
that's
then
crazy, man.
Benoit's son, they were both there as well. They had a ton of fun as well. Benoit is a
They
big
did a
Nintendo.
Pokemon thing, no?
Yeah, Pokemon stuff,
Yeah,
but man, they came with the Nintendo Switch, and like Benoit expected them to like be on the Switch and play, and then they were just building a Glaze app for 2 hours, and then we had the first demo, and it was super fun. Like,
that's cool, man. That
yeah,
that I was quite surprised at how many people built games as well. Was it
yeah,
the same in London?
yeah. We had quite a few games,
Yeah.
a bunch of internal apps, some personal one. I think everybody sort of has something in the back of their minds. Oh, I wish I would have this, right? And so we saw a lot of those, which is cool.
Yeah. So I got some questions here about Glaze. I think, um let me go through them. I can't find it now, but I think one of them was about the wait list. So,
Yep.
do we have any updates on Glaze wait list invites? I know that we are onboarding people every week, but
Yes.
maybe if we have anything to share, that might be nice.
Yeah. So we basically did those sessions in the first place to get people really on, right? So like to get them on and see, and also a bit as user testing, like giving in people's hand and see how they react. And honestly, it was like quite interesting because I mean, you ran through the presentation. We don't really tell you this is how it works. It's just
Mm.
like you get access and then you get going. And so everybody within an hour has an app. So this is like a good sign. Um, we basically at the moment thinking mostly around security, honestly, because like those apps they run on your computer, you can share them in a public store. So it is what the team is mostly busy with, which is why we like also like just inviting more people as we go. And so the initial thing like which we did more or less this in last week is making sure when you publish an app that it gets scanned and make sure that this is like in a secure fashion. And then the next thing is a bit of like additional sandboxing that we're doing. And I think when we have those two things done, then we will onboard more people. So we just like want to make sure that when we add like a ton of people in there, that it's basically where we wanted to have it, right? And what also our users expect. Um, so similar, like we onboard. So yeah, I know there was I think comment like people are on the wait list already for a few weeks. Yes, we got quite surprised how many people signed up. So the wait list is unfortunately a bit long, but also we like will probably at some point have reached enough people and onboarded them where we just like get everybody in. Not there yet, but we certainly try to go there as fast as possible. it's just like we have a lot to shuffle right now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I got another one. I've seen a few people asking this, but basically, like, what's the difference between Glaze and Claude Code? And I think
Great question.
that's an interesting question because, of course, people asking this type of questions are the ones that haven't actually had the chance to try Glaze. I think once you do try, you can kind of see it pretty easily that they're very different products. But why don't you just give a quick
Yeah.
overview?
Yeah, it's a good question actually. And some of those stuff pops up as we like go. But like how we think about, so let's take Claude Code because that's what probably many people are familiar with. Claude Code can build a Mac app, right? You get a Mac app when you like build it, but then okay, you have this app. First of all, you will spend a lot of time, though it looks proper and it basically understands how a Mac app should behave and all of this nice touches that you would expect from a good app. You spend a lot of time wrestling with that. So that's like one part. The other part is just also, quite frankly, when you have the app, like that's not the end. You might want to share that with somebody else, or with the world, or privately with your team. And so that's also what we cover with Raycast. Sorry, Glaze. But it's very similar to Raycast extensions in that regard. And so this is like we think much more about this sort of ecosystem of like, okay, you build an app, but that's just one part. How do you get it to people? How do you get, and later on maybe also get feedback from people and you can improve it? How can somebody maybe take your app and remix it and make it their own by like making subtle changes here and there? And then from the process itself, like the cool thing is like it just like spits out this app, it pops up in your dock immediately, and then you just iterate on it as you go. And then at least for me, and Pedro, you build a few as well. Usually I start and like, okay, I have an app, and then I start using it, and then it's like, and then I every time I use it, there's another idea, and then you kind of refine that, and the app will be, you're basically always working on this app. It's this never-ending thing almost, which is I think something which I experience like now a bunch of times when I build a Glaze app. I start with something simple, and then it's like, oh wait, I can add this feature or that feature, and then like 2 weeks later you have like a pretty massive app by then.
I mean, that's kind of the nice thing because sometimes it takes time using an app to figure out what you actually want. I always find that for apps that are quite personal, that's what you need. You need a bit of experience using it to then go, oh man, I wish I could do this. Right. And that's the problem with the way things have been. They're like, we're always using an app that has been thought of and has been designed and built by other people, and sometimes they have way more features than you actually need, and sometimes they don't have the one feature that you do want. So an example of that, and I made a video about this on my personal channel, that was my archiving app. And that's
Yeah,
kind of like, I don't think I would have ever found an app that does it the way I wanted it to. Just, it just doesn't make sense. It's quite a personal thing. I could have found an app that maybe did something similar, but I don't even think I could have really. There was there were different apps to do kind of different parts of the process, you know, like there was one that was like a timestamp corrector
oh
that I
yeah,
could import the photos and it would fix the times. I explained that in the video, but
yeah,
basically it would go through like, you know, the timestamps and make sure they were in order. And that was an app that just did that one thing. I think it was like $20 or something, like a one-off payment. It's not bad, you know, like it's an old school app, man. I think it was built like 15 years ago or something. Um, but like I didn't want just that, right? It's kind of wanted the whole thing. So with an app like this, the more I use it, the more I realize how I want it to work. And so I think that's kind of the cool thing about it. You know, you can just go and make changes whenever you want. You're not dependent on anything else. Well,
yeah.
on Glaze, but not another developer.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, it's like that's exactly it. I think it- oftentimes we end up maybe also stitching multiple apps together to like make a sort of a workflow, right? Like, oh, I'm doing something here, something there, and it's kind of like all workarounds. And yeah, with Glaze, you can just do what you want.
Yeah. Got one here. I built an app to import contacts into my
Mm.
address book. I use it multiple times a day now. That sounds cool.
Yeah,
With Glaze, I'm assuming, right?
Yes. Wait, I think Michael might have been at the London Hackathon or
Oh,
like at the
nice.
Glaze session. I think like, I remember
That's cool.
remember him when he came. If it is Michael, like let us know
A
because I
good memory.
remember somebody built that in London and he was super excited when he got together because he wanted to have this 4 H's
Oh, wow.
and never found this app, and now he can take a screenshot or like throw in like something from his screen, and then it extracts essentially the address and the name and something else, and like just puts it into
Like
the Apple content.
using OCR or
OCR, yeah. So
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
sometimes you get an email, right, and there's like this footer on the bottom, and then it's like
Oh,
copying
yeah.
this over. It's super annoying,
Oh,
and
that's
so just
cool,
like
man.
done.
Man, I
Yeah.
love using screenshots as
Oh yeah.
like my sort of entry point. I don't know how to explain it, but I use it all the time. Like it's almost like the way I bookmark things on my phone, like
Yeah.
primarily. And then I have a custom like OpenClaw setup that basically just reads every screenshot I send to it. I don't even have to give it any context. I just send screenshots. And depending on
Nice.
the screenshot, it kind of knows what to do. So if it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
screenshot of like a movie, it
Yeah.
knows that it's a movie I
That
wanna
was the
watch,
movie
so
list.
it adds it to my watch list. The
That's
same
great.
thing with books, the
Yeah.
same thing with recipes, so, like, recipes, he works with YouTube links as well, like, he just pastes the link. So,
Nice.
this idea of, like, using screenshots and just, like, I don't know, sending it and it can then intelligently know what to do, that's really nice. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool.
Um, just looking at some comments. There's one here from Bryce. Have you looked into creating mobile apps with Glaze?
Oh yeah, interesting one. I haven't fully looked into it. I think just making Mac apps is already challenging enough, right? But I mean, it's like similar-ish, right? So there's certainly something which I think is cool. And then you also have sometimes use cases that are catered more towards mobile. So that could be interesting to explore at some point. Um, so yeah, like not off the table, but I think for now we're busy with just desktop apps. As soon as we have nailed that one, might be able to branch out.
For sure.
Yeah. I've also seen like a bunch of people uh, looked expected like a purplish icon in Raycast, but that doesn't go
Oh, yeah.
to the public.
Yeah. We got one more about Glaze also from Bryce, and then I'll move on to the next bit. But basically, for Glaze apps that build with AI, and that's a very interesting point already, because I've noticed a lot of the apps that we built, like we built with AI using Glaze, but then your app maybe needs AI to do its own thing. And you
Yeah,
can use whatever AI model you want. Like if you want to use Nano Banana for some image generation, or I don't know, some Anthropic model. You can choose basically, right? You just got to make it so your app can receive the right API key, and that's as simple as that. But the question
yeah,
is basically about this: whether if you build an app that uses AI, then can we use the Glaze subscription as like a, I guess, like as a gateway, as a proxy, or
yeah,
do you need your own API key? We've talked about this internally a bit, but I don't know if we have
yeah.
reached anything. Maybe you can just give us a quick update.
Yeah. I think general direction is yeah, yes, because we've seen this so much, right? So within it, uh, like more and more apps become intelligent, right? So you kind of need to have some connection to AI, and why not just bundle it all into one subscription? Um, and that makes it easier for the average, right? And then you can always also say like, oh no, I want to have I see in the comments Olama or something, so you can also then just say I do it locally or use my own API key. I think that's the beauty about Glaze. Anything kind of goes. Like you can do it your way or a different way. And you can make it how you want. But generally, we want to make it super easy. So ideally, what Bryce suggested would be like, yeah, I think it would be quite cool. You build this app and it just worked. You don't need an API key, and it can do some intelligent work for you. And then I think that makes it like quite nice. And then you can have an opt out or like a different way if you want to not use like the subscription but something else, or you have like an API key lying around, or you want to keep it local with Olama. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think the easier the better. And this might be also like how we think about integrating with not just AI but also with other things you want to connect to, right? So you don't have to fiddle around with like, oh, how do I get Google Calendar in or something like this, or how do I get stocks
Yeah.
data or something like that, right? Which maybe you would need to use a paid API. We just we want you to focus on building something useful for you, sharing it with others, and not spending time on this other nitty gritty
In
details.
a way, it's kind of similar to what we do already with Raycast. We've got the AI API that allows you to sort of use
Yeah.
AI through that, right? So I think there's some bits that are kind of similar in a way, even like publishing your app, like we can publish extensions. So there's a lot of learnings from Raycast that we're also trying to use in Glaze and even make it better. Like the publishing
Yes.
experience of a Glaze app, man, when you guys try it, it's gonna blow your mind. If you've been building Raycast extensions, you're gonna see like it's on a whole different level.
We
With
learned our lessons, I think.
oh yeah, for sure. Like Pear is probably reviewing an extension right now.
Yeah.
Like
Or
what?
making
That's the last
pizza
one.
Friday.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry. What did you say?
Or making pizza pair
Oh,
this
making pizza.
Friday.
Today's Friday. It's true. He's probably making pizza. But that's the last question before we wrap up with the last bit. But basically, I just wanted to bring this up because we just talked about Raycast and Glaze, and this question kind of brings them together, which I think is an interesting point. First of all, before we answer the question, I just want to say a lot of people have assumed that Glaze is a new Raycast feature. Like it lives inside of Raycast, almost like, one of these Raycast commands that kind of pops out, it comes out of the
Yeah.
window. So
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of
Interesting.
people, and even in Paris, I was talking with a lot of people who uh, assumed that's how it was. But actually, it's a whole different app. It's completely separate. But we often talk about the integration between Glaze and Raycast because it makes a lot of sense. Like you could imagine building a Glaze app, but then you want to have a Raycast extension that does something for that app. The same way that you have, like I use CleanShot every day to annotate my screenshots, but I
Yeah.
also use the CleanShot extension in Raycast so I can very quickly record the screen or find my history and stuff like that. So this question is precisely about this, which is, will Glaze apps have an easy way to integrate with Raycast, like making it easy to use Raycast extensions to perform stuff in Glaze apps?
Yeah. I mean, long story short, yes. Um, Definitely something we want to do. I think Mathieu, who's like working on the extensions primarily, like he actually already did something like that where you have a Glaze app. Let's imagine like you have, like maybe a simple example, you have a Glaze app that is your notes app, right? And then in Raycast, you will have a command to search your notes. And then you can jump right away into like the Glaze app and open the note there, or maybe create one or read them. So yeah, we definitely want to do this. Because like that's also like somewhat a bit a challenge, right? Like we kind of relying on app developers opening up. We talked about My Mind giving us an API to like integrate, right? Or CleanShot, we work with them closely together to make sure it's really seamless, because lots of our users also use CleanShot. But with Glaze, because we own both sides, like the app creation as well as the Raycast integration, we can make this really seamless. And I think in idea world, we're not there yet, but I think in idea world, it would be almost like Raycast extension comes out of the box, right? Or there's maybe like almost like a checkbox, like, yep, and it kind of knows what to do. Like you probably want to search your content, you probably want to create some content, and then it just pops up in Raycast, right? So you see your Glaze app, and then you have immediately a few commands. I think this would be
Oh
super
man,
cool.
that would be so
Yeah,
good. It's almost
yeah,
like the Glaze agent can just ask you, "Hey, do you want to build these commands?" Like for the
yeah,
notes one is good. It's like the first thing that comes to mind is you probably want to have like a search notes command where you can
100%.
search your notes, or maybe you want to have your favorite notes and assign a hotkey to open one. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so yeah, there's a lot of opportunity there for deep and seamless integration between both. And I can't
Yeah.
wait for this, man. That's going to be really
No,
cool.
it's super cool. I did like at the moment, like everybody tinkers around with it internally. And there are also like ways you already people integrated with AI chat in Raycast, where Glaze apps, the content is available in AI chat and it can
Oh,
sort of
really?
go both ways.
Oh,
Yeah, there are
wow.
like some interesting
I
ways.
haven't seen that.
Yeah, yeah. Beth is all over it.
Wow, Beth, man, just killing it. All right, so to wrap up, we've got some announcements, and this is now more about the community side of things. For the first time, Raycast is going to the US. So we're really excited about that. It's something that we've been trying to do for a while now. We were going to do it last year, but we went to Japan instead.
Yeah.
So now we're going to San Francisco. We're hosting an event in San Francisco on the 27th. This is not fully finalized yet. It's kind of 95% there, but there will be an event on the 27th in San Francisco. Then we're doing an event on the 28th in San Francisco as well with Vercel. So thanks to Vercel team, Guillermo, for helping us organize this. And that's going to be like a Glaze and a V0 event
It's
combined.
gonna be cool. It's gonna
That's
be
gonna be cool,
pretty.
man. Like the idea is that you build a Glaze app and then you build a V0 like landing page for that app and stuff like that. Um, then April 30th will be in New York and we'll do the new standard, which is a kind of panel, almost like live podcast type of event with Linear and Anthropic.
Man,
So
this
that's gonna
thing
be
blew up. It's
that this one
crazy.
is gonna be super cool. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't wait to
same.
see this one. And then on May 1st, we have a Glaze session in New York as well. So
Yeah.
there's quite a lot going on. It's a bit packed. We're trying to see if we can squeeze in a Ray Cafe at some point. We'll see how we're doing. But we'll share links. In any case, you can go to ray.so/events. And if you go there, you basically see all of the events, especially the events that are being organized by our ambassadors, which are happening basically all over the world. So everything is on there. And Steph, who I guess most of you know, she's in LA right now as we speak. I think she's in the chat. Maybe she's having a bubble tea or something, but she's in LA and she's doing a Ray Cafe in LA. So that'll be our first one there, this kind of official, with our ambassador Tim. Then there is a Ray Cafe City, sorry, Ray Cafe Mexico City. Oh man, I would love to go to that one. To
That
go
would
to
be
Mexico
cool.
City would be so cool. Drew, who is part of the Ray fam, is hosting one in Mumbai with Kartik. And finally, the link, which I just showed it to you. And if you're interested in becoming a Raycast ambassador, then just visit raycast.com/ambassadors and you can apply on there basically.
Yeah.
And so we'll post all of these events as we normally do on our socials and on our community Slack. So make sure to RSVP, especially for the US ones, because they're getting busy. I think some of them are already over capacity.
Yeah. And also let us know where we should go next. Like we
Yeah,
we try to get everywhere, but
try.
we're also mindful. But we'll see, right? Like I think yeah, US is exciting. Last year Japan, I think it's in everybody's mind. Japan
Yeah.
community is
Japan was great to
massive.
meet all the people there. It was such a different place to go as well, and so that was crazy. The US is going to be big. We have so many users in the US, obviously.
Yeah.
But man, we should do South America soon. Go to Brazil. You know,
Yeah.
there's
Local
a
for
lot
you.
of Brazilian people there, and then our friends from South America can come over much easier than coming to Europe,
That's
and
true.
we can do an event there as well. That would be cool.
Nice. Can't
All
wait.
right. Cool. Thanks everyone for joining in. Always appreciate it. And see you at the next one.